Here again with another Breaking Bad Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then well, you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I will mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found out you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you out there that are wondering, I've seen Breaking Bad many times. At least 8 times. This might even be my 10th time watching this show. So join me and the man, the myth, the legend, the Breaking Bad fan, and Lucifer and Dexter fanatic, Crazy Coffee Man, in the comment section to discuss this awesome and amazing show. With all that in mind, this will be Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 7. The title of this episode is called Problem Dog. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start off with Jesse playing a shooting game, a first-person shooter. It's called Rage, and it gives him bad memories of when he shot Gil Bedecker and killed him up front and close. So then we go to the car wash, and we have Walt asking Skyler Howes Jr., and she says he hasn't said a word to her since she said that the car was going back, and she negotiated the car getting returned, but they have to pay an $800 fee on the car for taking the car back. And so instead of taking the car back, Walt decides to have some fun in it. He goes to this parking lot and just drives around the parking lot, leaves tire tracks all over the place, all over. There's almost an 8 and another 0 on top of the 8 of how many tire squeals and tire tracks are all over the parking lot. And then he takes the paperwork of the car, or for the car, which is a Mustang, I believe, and puts it in the pump gas, the gas tank, and he lights it on fire. And then Walt goes to sit down and calls a cab. And as he finishes up with his ordering of his cab, the car actually explodes. So Walt didn't want to take the car back. He wanted to destroy it because, well, that's what entertains Walt, apparently. I would have taken it and sold it because I don't have any interest in driving. Anyway, Walt goes to see Saul Goodman. He's able to knock Walt's charge down to a misdemeanor trash burning, and Walt's little joyride is going to set Walt back about $52,000. Well, Walt can make that in 5 minutes, so that's nothing. Walt asks Saul about potentially taking out Gus Fring. And the problem is the only guys that can do that, Michael already knows those guys. So he's the one that told Saul about them. While Jesse's painting his place, Walt asks him about his contact with Gus. I guess I forgot to mention that. Walt goes to Jesse's place. And so Saul had told Walt that Jesse saw Gus, so that's why he goes to Jesse's place. And Jesse tells Walt Gus told him he sees something in him. And Walt brings up what happened to Tomas, and Jesse says, "Drop the sales pitch. I'll do it." "You'll do what?" "I'll kill him the first chance I get." Then we have Marie going to the car wash. She tells Skyler Hank's doing better. He's been a maniac with his physical therapy. And then Walt brings $274,000 to Skyler. That's hidden in cans of soda, and she says that's too much. There's no car wash in the world that could do that much business in this amount of time. And $50 bills are going to be a problem, Skyler says. So Walt tells her if she wants out to just say you want out. And then we have Walt busy in the lab as the camera watches his every move. And when he goes in the break area, he actually cooks up some ricin in the lab and then gives it to Jesse. 36 hours later, Gus would be dead if he can give him that ricin. And nobody would suspect anything. Maybe Mike would have his suspicions, but it would be nothing that he'd be able to prove. So Jesse puts the ricin in a cigarette in case he's searched. If they pat him down, they're not going to open each one of his cigarettes up. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. But so whatever you do, don't smoke it, Walt tells Jesse. Junior and Hank go to visit Los Porros Hermanos. Junior is talking to Hank about the Mustang, like how he got to have it for how many hours it was. And then Gus Fring comes over to visit Agent Schrader. He tells Hank a DEA hero should never have to pay at Los Porros Hermanos. He also tells Junior about possibly coming to work with him. So it kind of reminds me of when Harrison went to work with Kurt Caldwell in season, well, Dexter New Blood, just kind of randomly. But he doesn't actually go to work for him, but it was the talk of it. And then Gus goes to refill Hank's Diet Coke. And then Hank and Junior leave. And we see Hank dumping the cup out and putting the cup into an evidence bag. So Hank's up to something here. We'll find out later in just a moment. Another journey with Mike and Jesse. Eyes open, mouth shut. They drive to Gus's meeting area or distribution place or whatever it is. And we have extra security this time. And Jesse's told to make coffee. So Jesse was actually about to put the ricin in the coffee. But Mike startles him and says, if you're going to be here today, you're going to have a gun. So something's going down at the meeting place. And then the folks that went after the Los Porros Hermanos truck that killed the people that were in the back show up at the meeting site. I believe that's them. I could be wrong. I don't remember their names. They don't really say their names. It's a bunch of language and Spanish dialogue. But basically the gist of it is Gus offers them a one-time payment of $50 million and their business would be concluded and done. And unfortunately, that's not what they want because they know they can make more money in the long run. $50 million, they could make 300 million. So no deal was made. And then Jesse asks Mike if he's part of the team. What does he see in me? And Mike's like, well, my guess is loyalty, but you've got it for the wrong guy. So Mike's basically saying that Jesse should be loyal to Gus and not to Walt. So Jesse goes to see Jerry, I think his name is. It's Jere, but I think it's Jerry or Jer. If I'm saying it, I think they said his name at one point, but it was early in season 3, and I forgot all the random dialogue in that season. But Jer or Jerry, the guy that runs the NA meetings, and Badger and Skinny Pete are not there this time. So Jesse says he went back to the Crystal, but he's been off it for 4 days. He said a couple weeks ago he killed, a couple weeks back, he killed a dog. He put him down, he watched him go, and then one of the other ladies that are a part of the meeting gets mad at him and gives him a hard time about killing a dog for really no reason at all. And he says that he was there to sell them meth. You're nothing to me but customers. He made them his bitch. Jesse leaves to the lab. So this was more involvement there. It was a story, but he started talking to the head of the meeting and, just information. But that was the end result of it, what Jesse said. And then Jesse tells Walt he hasn't seen Gus in the last week, even though he has. Marie drops Hank off at the DEA. So Hank's leaving the house now. He goes to Los Porros Hermanos, and now he's going to the DEA. And remember, he got Gus's fingerprints on that cup. Hank talks to George Merkett. I think that's his name, George. Well, Merkett, but is his name George? I can't remember now. And Gomi made GS-14. Now, I don't know what GS-14 means, but ASAC-14? I don't know, but that's what that talk is. And then he tells Gomi and Merkett about the Tim Roberts case. Hank shows them the picture of the Los Porros Hermanos thing at Gail Bedeker's, which also has a part number on it, and it's to an air filtration unit, and that was one was recently dropped off in the area, and you know who signed for it? Gail Bedeker, in the Albuquerque area. And then Hank tells them about Madrigal Electric and them being connected to Los Porros Hermanos, and he says, "What's a vegan doing at a fried chicken joint?" And then maybe his meeting with this guy, and then he points with his cane. He had a meeting with Gus Fring. What do we really know about Gus Fring? Maybe he's our guy. Merkett says Hank No offense, but I think you're really reaching here. And he says, couldn't agree more. Except, what are Gus Fring's fingerprints doing at Gail Bedeker's apartment? And that's what ends the episode. So that's a pretty crazy ending to the episode. As far as the score of the episode, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a little boring, but obviously the end was really good with Hank, essentially showing all the evidence he's gathered. And then as far as the characters of the episode go, I had a hard time choosing between Hank and Jesse. Jesse was the character of the episode, but then Hank had his moments at the end. So Hank or Jesse, Walt finally takes a back seat. And then for our females, Skyler, Bree did a little bit in this episode, but not enough to be considered the character of the episode. So you heard what I had to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comments section and tell me what your thoughts are about this episode of Breaking Bad. You can join me and the man, the myth, the legend, Crazy Coffee Man. So far, it's usually just me and him talking about the show, and I know other people watch these videos, although YouTube likes to mess around with my video counts the next day. But if you're watching the video, at least leave a comment that, if you're the first person that comments, put first. That way I know you're watching, because something's messed up with things on my channel. But anyway, let us know your thoughts. What would you score the episode? Whom would be your characters of the episode if you want to do male and female? Or if you have more than one or two, just anything you want to say about the episode. And then last, but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.